Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm back with another earbud comparison, and this time it's the Jabra Elite Active 65Ts versus the Jabra Elite Active 75Ts. So a couple years apart as far as when these came out, but there are some significant differences and also some similarities that you may want to take into consideration if you're interested in buying either one of them. Of course, the Active 65Ts are much cheaper now, and the Active 75Ts are the latest and greatest that Jabra has to offer. So before we dive in and take a look at both of these stellar sets of earbuds, I do want to say, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest videos. Let's check out these earbuds. All right, so first I want to talk about the Elite Active 65Ts. So these were the latest and greatest, best that Jabra had to offer in the year 2018, and they were really good then. I mean, wireless earbuds, especially the true wireless earbuds, really started to make like a leap in advancements, after 2018. 2019 was a really good year. These right here, still a really solid option. The MSRP now, you can pick them up on the Jabra website for $120. I've seen them elsewhere for about $100. And if you want to find some that are refurbished, renewed, recertified, whatever the fancy word is for somebody who bought them and put them back in a box and returned them, you can get them pretty cheap. I saw them as low as $50. And these are one heck of an earbud at $50. Even at $100 or $120, these still kill a lot of the $80 to $140 earbuds that are out on the market. So one of the things that annoys me about it is the case. You have to like push in and then push up, and then they just kind of float there like there's like a little bit of spring tension to it, and it can be a little bit of a pain in the rear end to close. But they made some significant advancements in the case for the 75Ts. So what you're getting here, 5 hours of battery life on one charge, and then you get 2 additional charges out of the case. So that's a total of 15 hours. Now, the other thing is it's micro USB to charge it. So a little bit older there, but I mean, in 2018, that was pretty much the standard. I mean, 2019 and 2020, there's still some lower end manufacturers that are sending them out with micro USB. The case does not have wireless charging. You cannot get a wireless charging case for it. Now, other things you need to know. These things have passive or hear-through audio on them. So Jabra likes to call it hear-through. This was probably one of the first ones that really did it, and they did it fairly well. So the way that works is there's 4 microphones on these sets of earbuds. And the way that it works is you've got the regular ear microphone for talking, but then you've got this little microphone, actually you can see on the outside there, where it picks up the outside noise so you can hear what's going on while you have your earbuds in, which is super important, especially if you're talking about having an active set of earbuds. You want to take these out for running, for jogging, for being in the outdoors. You want to be able to hear what's going on. Now, this doesn't mean that you can sit there and have a conversation with people and you can hear every single thing that's going on. But what it does is it allows you to hear things like cars driving by or someone honking their horn or important loud noises that you would need to hear for your situational awareness. So that's super important. Now, in the 65Ts, it's not as good as it is in the 75T. You can go on the app and there's actually a little sliding bar. You can adjust the intensity or the volume for the hear-through audio. So that makes it where you can, hear better depending on the volume of your audio. So to take advantage of it though, you really need to have the audio about 40 or 50%. Once you get over about that 50% mark on the volume, then you really start hearing less and less of what's going on around you. Also, these pick up a little bit more more wind noise than the 75Ts do. Now, one cool thing about the 65Ts versus the 75Ts is you can actually control the volume on the left earbud. So on the 75Ts, you can't. There's no volume adjustment on the earbuds, and a lot of people complain about that with newer earbuds, but with the 65Ts, you can press up or down on the button on the left earbud, and that will allow you to change the volume. So really nice. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do a wear test here real quick, just so we can talk about that. So one thing about these earbuds is they're kind of large. And that's one thing that the 75Ts really improved on. These suckers take up pretty much your entire ear space. So you can see here, very, very snug inside the ear. These are not going to fall out. They're probably the most secure earbuds that I've ever used in my entire life. But you've got the buttons here. They work out great. They're pretty easy to press, and they're nice and not too difficult to find. And in addition to that, it does give them really good sound isolation. So when you talk about earbuds, there's two things people really talk about: sound isolation or noise isolation, which is called passive noise canceling, and then you have active noise cancellation. Neither one of these sets of earbuds have active noise cancellation, but because it seals up around the ear so well and the way the ear tip sits inside the ear, it really does help block out the outside noise. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about is with both sets of these earbuds, you can set it up in the app to where you can hear your voice while you're talking, especially when you're on phone calls. And that helps out a lot because you're not sitting there yelling at people when you're having a phone conversation, because you can't tell how loud your voice is being, because normally the earbuds kind of cancel that out. So with these, you can put them in your ear and you can have that setting on, so it also picks up your vocal feedback while you're talking, so you can hear yourself like you would if you were normally talking. It's really a nice feature because I'm really bad when I'm on the phone about talking entirely too loud, so this helps out a lot. So the only other thing I want to note with regard to wearing these, they can get a little uncomfortable after a while. It takes some time to break them in. I mean, not break them in, but to get used to wearing them, because they do kind of put some pressure around the inside of your ear because they're so snug. So after a while, a couple of days of using them, couple hours, different instances, you kind of get used to it. But when you first put them in, it can be a little uncomfortable, especially for long-term wear. So that's definitely an area of improvement for the 75Ts. All right, so some other things. You can do the Find My Earbuds feature, which is inside of the Jabra app. You're definitely going to need to get the Jabra app. The Jabra app is what makes these so great. That's where you adjust the hear-through audio. That's where you can play like it's like ambient noise, stuff like outside noise, like white noise, brown noise, the rustling water brook, all that stuff. It's a setting inside the app where you can go and turn on these nice, calming, peaceful sounds, and you can just kind of listen to those and have your little zen moment and relax and not worry about what's going on in the outside world. Because sometimes if you're on like an airplane flight, or you're trying to lay down at night, or you just want to relax for a little bit, you may not necessarily want to listen to music, but you want to hear something. And this allows you to do that. But yeah, the Jabra app, you can go in, you can find your earbuds, the last place they were connected if you happen to lose them. That's a nice, important feature. Additionally, you have the global equalizer. The global equalizer in the earbuds is like the biggest thing that's happened to earbuds in the last couple of years. It's really nice having a good set of earphones or earbuds, but it's kind of frustrating if you use Spotify and then you go use Apple Music, then you go use YouTube Music, then you go use Pandora, and your music is always sounding different. Well, you can rest assured, sleep easy at night. You don't have to worry about that anymore, because inside the app, you can set up your equalizer and it will apply across the board for everything. So no matter what what music service you listen to, no matter what you're watching or listening to, you're going to have a consistent experience. And that's really great, because it's, like I said, it's annoying having to go adjust it in all those different places and trying to get the sound the same. One thing you need to do though, and I was a little concerned when I first started listening to these, I was like, man, these really don't sound that great. What's wrong? Well, I was in effect doubling the equalizer, which was really messing it up. Here's what you need to do. When you get these earbuds, go set your equalizers to your other apps to flat. Default. Do not mess with them. Because I had my stuff turned down, so I adjust my bass. I like to have more hit and less boom. So I usually turn the bass down into the negative category a little bit. So I did that in Spotify, which is what I listen to all the time. And then I also did it in the Jabra app. So then when I was listening to them, I'm like, man, the bass in these things are terrible. And then I realized that I had already set up the equalizers in my other apps. So make sure you go set those to default and then use the equalizer inside of the Jabra app. You have to do that. And then they will sound really good. So with these, they have really, really good sound. So by 2018 standards, these have amazing sound. By 2020 standards, these have really good sound. I think these are better than the Samsung Galaxy Buds. They're better than the original AirPods. There's so many other, like I said, $80 to $120, $130 sets of earbuds that these are still better than. And of course, 5 hours battery life is pretty decent. It's not the greatest in the world, but it'll still get you through pretty much whatever you need to do. I mean, I don't listen to music for more than 5 hours anyway, so just throw them back in the case. But the sound experience is good. They've got really good bass. Now, the vocals are good also. They're definitely, like I said, they're worth every penny. They're worth $120. If you get them for $50 to $100, they're totally worth it. Solid bass, solid mids, good highs. Now, the highs and the mids are a little bit better when it comes to the Jabra 75Ts. The 75Ts have a otherworldly experience. They are so good. So if you listen to these in 2018 and thought, wow, these are amazing, and then you listen to the 75Ts in 2020, then you're going to have kind of the same feeling. Wow, they're so amazing. So these, the bass does not hit as hard as it does on the 75Ts, but it's still very good. And like I said, the vocals and the mids, they're very good. What you get with the 75Ts versus these is you get a little bit better separation. So with these, you get good volume. You've got distinct bands between the bass, the mids, and the treble, but sometimes it can blend together a little bit more. Just because it's older technology, it's not quite as delineated as I would like it to be. But that's by no means saying that these are not really good. I'm just saying compared to the 75Ts are just amazing. These, for the price, are amazing. So that's about it with regard to the sound experience. Overall, I'm a big fan of these. I think that they're totally worth the price point. And if you've got a set of $50, $70, $100 earbuds, these right here are probably significantly better. So that's all I've got on the 65Ts. Let's go ahead and talk about the 75Ts. All right, so here we are with the Jabra Elite Active 75Ts. Now, these are the best earbuds that I've ever listened to. They've got power, they've got performance, they've got everything that you could possibly imagine, except for active noise cancellation, which is a little on the frustrating side because they are so expensive. We're talking $200, $199 for these earbuds. The case does not come with wireless charging. You can buy a model that has wireless charging, which is an extra $25 more. So if you want to spend $225 and get the blue color, you can get wireless charging for the case if that matters to you. USB-C charging, which is an upgrade over the 65T that had micro USB. Also, they made some significant advancements in playtime. So the 65Ts had 5 hours of playtime. These have 7.5, and you get an additional 20.5 hours out of the case for a total of 28 hours of listening time, as opposed to the 15 hours of listening time on the 65Ts. So that's a significant improvement. Now, also, they made the case so much better. All you have to do is just pop the lid up, as opposed to the 65Ts, which is kind of annoying. Like I said, you have to push in and up, and then they kind of lock into place. Major advancements here. You can also see that the case is much smaller, about probably 30% smaller if I had to guess. And then the earbuds are also smaller. They are much more lightweight. You can wear these pretty much for forever. They're much more comfortable, and really, they did a good job. How they made them smaller, more comfortable, and gave them an additional 2.5 hours of listening time is beyond me. These also have the dual sets of microphones on each earbud, and that allows you to have the hear-through audio and also for talking on the phone. Actually, I do want to talk about both of these are good at making phone calls. So I forgot to say that in the 65T portion. They're both good at making phone calls. Also, one thing that I want to talk about. You can only use the right one in mono mode. You can't use both of them, independently. So whether it's the 65Ts or the 75Ts, you can, if you take them out and you're wearing them, if you take the left one out and put it back in the case, the right one will still work. If you take the right one and put it in the case, the left one will lose its connection. It requires the one on the right to connect so that you can listen to your music. So that's one important thing. That goes for both sets of earbuds. So these do have one other significant improvement over the 65Ts. These have IP57 dust and water resistance. So the numbers there, IP, the 5 is the dust the 7 is the water. Once you get to 7, you get actual kind of waterproof capabilities. So IP7 is the same as when you look at a phone and they say IP67. You get 30 minutes that you can immerse these in up to 1 meter of water. So if you take these in the water, if you drop them in the water, if they get fully immersed, they're okay. That doesn't mean the case, that means the earbuds. So that is one significant improvement over the 65Ts. So with the sound experience, these things are like otherworldly compared to anything else I've listened to that's not an AirPod Pro. The AirPod Pros have a very, very good sound experience. The active noise cancellation is definitely a really nice feature, but with these, they're just so good. The volume is loud. Each one of the different bands between the bass, the mids, and the highs, it's so good. The soundstage is immersive. You can clearly hear the instruments separated from each other. They have incredible bass. And with regard to these, if you've listened to like some high quality audio before, you can just tell that they're made from high quality products. You listen to these and the drivers inside them, they sound nice and tight. They don't sound cheap or tinny. They've just got this full and complete sound that sounds so good. The bass hits hard, it has depth, and it's really impressive because like if you listen to a set of like $100 earbuds, they might do some things well. And I'm not talking about the Jabras. I'm talking about 2020. You get a $100 set of earbuds. They kind of do one or two things well. These, across the board, the sound experience, the power, everything is good. The only thing that drives me crazy is one, you can't use them independently of each other, and two, you don't have active noise cancellation. At $200, they should have put that in here, and I don't know why they didn't, but they should have. But great call quality, great sound performance. Like I said, the bass is so good, and you wouldn't think it because these earbuds, I mean, look at them. They're so small. They're not huge. They're not headphones. I mean, yeah, if you want really, really dynamic and loud and crazy bass, you want headphones. But you don't expect to get that kind of bass performance out of something like this. The mids, the synthesizers, the instruments, the vocals are so good. They're so clear and crisp. I enjoy listening to these so much. So much so, it makes me not want to listen to other earbuds, which I'm glad that I have them. But if you go out and you spend $200 on these, you're not going to be disappointed. Solid battery life, solid sound performance. It's got everything you could possibly ask for, plus the global equalizer. So yeah, totally worth it. All right, so that's all I've got on the Jabra Elite Active 65Ts versus the 75Ts. A lot of great things going on here, and I wanted to take some time and to compare the two because not everybody wants to buy $200 earbuds, and not everybody needs to. But I want to take a look at these because they're still fantastic and you can find so many good deals on them nowadays. So that's all I've got. If you got any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section. I'll get back with you. Like I said in the beginning, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get updates on the latest videos. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you guys next time.